के खाँदै खाइदिउँ न तातो छ है You're watching Nepal Drives. My name is Ankit Chakya.
And I'm Swarnim. And this is the Omoda E5 EV.
The Omoda E5 EV was selling like hotcakes. Did I just burn my mouth dramatically just to segue into this line? I did. But it is also true that the Omoda E5 was selling like hotcakes. The company claims to have already delivered 300 units of the car within the first few months of its arrival. With the EV market rife with competition, what does it take to sell so many cars so quick?
Has to be the price, doesn't it? 62 lakhs, considering all the battery, the range, the technology features you're getting.
Has to be 430 kilometers of range, 61 kilowatt hour LFP battery, blade battery they say. Has to be one of the factors.
The blade battery has proven itself to be one of the most safest and durable as well.
Why don't you tell our viewers all about the Omoda E5 features, or at least some of it?
Well, Omoda is a sub-brand of Chery. And fun fact, they are also the first Chinese automaker to manufacture their vehicles in Europe. And this particular car, the E5 EV, has been packed to the brim with features. So one of the most attention-grabbing features are these two screens. These are 10.25 inches each, and this particular screen is where you can control everything of the car from.
I like the screens. You control the AC from that screen as well, but what I do like is they've given
The
buttons right here as well.
At least to turn it off and on again.
You get to change the modes as well, which I think is very important, regardless of how much the car designers want their interiors to look minimal and clean.
Yeah,
A few buttons
we need our
go a long
buttons
way.
and knobs.
Yeah, I do enjoy it.
And also these come with the latest and greatest of the features. You get your Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and music through Sony speakers, which sound pretty decent.
They're pretty decent. Honestly, the features, it took me around 10 minutes to familiarize myself with everything that's in there, but we'll get to that soon. Speaking of safety, this car has a load of safety features. Apart from the regular ABS, EBD and the sorts, it has a level 2.5 ADAS, and you get over 17 features of safety related elements.
Yep, I was about to get to that. If you swipe to the safety section on this display, you can see how hard the tech is working to keep you and the pedestrians safe. You've got intelligent avoidance system, automatic braking system, lane departure warning, lane departure intervention, door opening alert, emergency lane keeping, blind spot detection, and so much more.
Now I know it's doing its job, but the beeps kind of get really annoying when you're driving.
You can choose to turn some of them off, and they'll stay off until you turn them back on again.
Well, that's a relief. Now I have an idea. How about we test out these features in the context of Nepal? What do you say?
What do you mean?
Why don't we start with the 360-degree camera? It's very clear, it's very useful, especially when you're parking or in tight situations. But how does it fare when you're in the chaos in our cities? As you can see, the 360-degree camera does come in handy, especially when you're trying your best not to drive over people's feet, which can lead to a mob turning your car over while you're still in it. If that isn't reliable safety, I don't know what is. Realistically though, you might not resort to the 360-degree camera to tiptoe around crowds, but it is still very useful.
Alright, I'll give you that. But this is not the only safety feature on this car. Let's see how the ADAS features work on our roads.
So the Omoda E5 EV has level 2.5 ADAS, which means it can drive itself. Sort of. It takes care of the braking, the acceleration, and it tries to keep you in the lane.
but you still have to have the steering wheel in your hands. But let's see if it can do its stuff in our scantily marked roads of Nepal. Let's try it out. So I'm gonna press this button and see what happens. So now it's in adaptive cruise control. I'm gonna have my steering wheel on my hands. I can feel the steering wheel moving around a little bit, trying to keep me in lane. You can see that it's trying to keep me in lane right here. Oh, I can definitely feel the steering wheel moving around. I think it's doing a pretty good job. I'll still have my feet on the brakes though, just in case. Let's see what happens during a corner. I'm actually doing nothing, which does not feel safe at all. Alright, that was the limit to which I could let go of the steering wheel. It was doing a pretty good job. I'll reactivate it and see how it goes. The barriers kind of got to me. If it was just the lanes, I would be a little more comfortable letting go of the steering wheel, but the barriers got me a little nervous. Alright, let's give it another go. We are on. We're lucky that we have a pretty empty road ahead of us, but it's doing a good job. Let's just speed up a little bit. Can you see the steering wheel moving around in my hand? Oh, please take over the vehicle. Alright, got it. So this screen tells me what to do and what not to do as well. I've noticed it alerting me that I've been a little lazy, I've been a little distracted while driving every time I look around, which is good. It's a good safety feature. Right, back to cruise control. It wasn't me braking. That was the car.
It works. It works. But let's not do that again.
We also made sure we tested the Omoda E5 EV off-road. It was quickly apparent that it was not comfortable on unpaved roads. The drive is bouncy and you would not want to spend too much time off the tarmac. Ground clearance though should be enough to keep you out of serious trouble.
In spite of its high-tech functions, there are a couple of niggles that I would like to point out. For instance, in order to go into brake regeneration recovery mode to change its levels, you can't do that through vehicle settings, which I would assume is the way to do it. Instead, you have to go into energy mode, energy tab right here, which then requires you to go into other settings, and then you can change the energy recovery levels. And at that, there is a spelling error in a 62 lakh rupee car, which I don't think is acceptable. And then I also don't like how they change modes. The visuals are all right, but when you go into eco mode,
ECO mode.
ECO mode? How hard is it to say eco mode? Sheesh.
However, a few are incredibly smart. The speakers on the rear doors light up and work as blind spot monitors so that rear passengers are wary of oncoming traffic when they open the doors. The AC temporarily switches off if you are on a call, just so that your conversation is not hindered. So it's elements like these that make up for these small shortcomings.
Now if you're done with your tests, can I have a go? I'd love to see how this thing drives.
Sure, but let's have a cup of coffee first, and maybe we can talk about the exterior.
Yeah, that sounds like a good plan.
So how do you like the looks of the Omoda E5 EV?
I think it looks good. It is definitely futuristic, like all other EVs. The boomerang-shaped LED DRLs, they're really eye-catchy, and the aggressive cuts and creases all over the front and the sides, they add a lot of presence to the vehicle, don't you think?
I do. It does look big, beefy. The 18-inch wheels are slightly undersized, maybe.
Yes, and the tires.
Yeah, the tires, but they look all right. The sloping roofline, the aggressive cuts, give it a slightly heftier look.
Yeah.
But the thing is, inside it's not as big. I was having a little trouble with the headroom. My head was...
Yeah, your hair was brushing with the headliner.
Exactly. And even in the rear seat, I think there wasn't enough room for 3 people to sit comfortably. And the headroom and knee room weren't that great either.
And how's the boot?
You get 360 liters of capacity, and you can fold down the seats for a fairly flat bed. And you get around 1,026 liters.
That is substantial. How about the front?
The front is tiny. That's around 15 liters.
That is not that substantial.
Yeah. Like there are reviewers who were like mistakenly saying it's 50 liters, but it's around 15 liters. But I don't mind the small frunk. But what I do mind is the small sunroof. It's absolutely tiny and it automatically opens, but the blind you have to manually pull back. So what I really think is either don't give a sunroof
or give the full moonroof.
Exactly. I'd rather have that, or not at all. I've never felt like a car has to have a sunroof, but if you get one, might as well be the big ones.
Get a big one.
Yeah.
Now that we're done, why don't we head out?
Sure.
Oi, how big are you? And the seat is so low. Electronic adjustment. Nice.
I'm happy there's electric adjustment, but the passenger seat does not have height adjustment for the seat.
Can't you go down?
Nope. This is it, man.
Can you go any higher?
No, I just have to scooch down. It is what it is. There's a charging dock right over here with a cooling vent. It's a 50-watt wireless charger, and it gets a cover, which I really like. I think it rids you of the distraction when you're driving.
I agree.
So where are we headed?
I know a place just a little further out from the city where we can take this and push it to the limits.
Alright, distance shouldn't be an issue.
Yeah, we are at 68% and we started at how much?
81. We've been driving all day, and I've been driving this yesterday.
Yeah.
And we barely made a dent.
That is reassuring as far as range and battery is concerned.
Yeah. It's a whole weight off your shoulders with a good range, a good EV, a good range. One less thing to worry about.
Yeah, I agree. Now let's test this. One, flirt. Yes. It gets off the line quickly, but I can sense a fair bit of wheel spin.
340 Newton meters of torque, instant torque to the front wheels does that.
Yes, but I think that this car would have been better as a rear-wheel drive car.
Most definitely. And it feels like an easy fix now for an EV. It doesn't have all the mechanical issues you have to fiddle with.
You just bring the front motor to the back.
It would have been so good.
Yes, that power delivery would have been much better. I like the steering wheel. It is not too light and it is not too heavy. I have driven cars where the steering wheel is very heavy. Even in your regular ICE vehicles, when you go to 5th gear on sport mode, the steering wheel it stiffens up so much.
I agree. There's decent feedback from the steering wheels. You can tell where the front wheels are when you're driving, right?
This is just right.
But I think the suspension is slightly on the stiffer side.
Yeah.
Is it?
It is, but that is done to mitigate body rolls.
Yeah.
So we've been through a lot of twists and turns up till here, and the body roll inside is very minimal. You can feel it at the back, but at the front it is almost non-existent.
Makes sense, but the potholes and the speed bumps kind of
yes, there's that.
You can feel that when you're driving, right?
Yeah.
Now that you've had a chance to drive the car, maybe it would be a good time to stop and get to the bottom of the question why this car is selling like hotcakes.
Yeah, it is a very good time, and I shall find a place to stop and do just that.
Alright, so let's break it into 3 parts. The range, the features, and the price. The claimed range is 430 kilometers WLTP. But realistically, you get around 400 kilometers, which is more than enough. If you're going from your home to your office to your home, you can easily get a week's worth of driving time with a full charge.
And even if you were to go outside the city, you could do major cities like Kathmandu Oh no, this is Kathmandu. So you can do major cities like Chitwan and Pokhara in one charge. You don't have to stop.
400 kilometers is more than enough. You can pretty much go anywhere in Nepal. And then there are the features. You get plenty of creature comfort features like the ventilated seats, the AC, the sound system, even the small sunroof, which I already talked about. It could have been better, but still the feature list is very, very nice.
The electric vehicle industry is in this teenage phase where it is rapidly developing, but for the current market, I think this offers a lot of things that you need from an electric vehicle. So currently, this is a very good car to buy.
A good safety list is very comforting. And then there's the price point, 62 lakh. You are competing with the likes of the BYD Atto 3, the top variant, but you get a massive list of features and safety, which I think is a decent package for the Omoda E5 EV. The EV industry is growing in leaps and bounds, and there are going to be new cars that are coming into Nepal with more tech, more features. And to make sure that you get every bit of information about the automotive world of Nepal, make sure you subscribe to Nepal Drives, leave a comment, switch on the bell or the notification button, whatever it is. Make sure you do that so that you don't miss anything at all. Take care, folks.